Trading Nut, episode 92.
I think that, a lot of traders that listen to this, they've probably got maybe a $100, $200, $500 account, maybe a couple of thousand, right? What I believe you should do as a trader is pretend like you're trading $1 million account.
The market's going to do something. Your job is not to fight it.
The market never, ever runs away. It's always there.
That personal diary of trading will make you a much better trader than...
I could be right about the direction, but wrong about the trade.
Don't focus on the monetary side.
Trying to make too much money on a trade is what I have seen killed every trader.
Your losses offer you some of the greatest insight you can find into your mistakes.
Relax, learn the process.
Candlestick pattern trading is a freaking trap.
Don't be in a rush to become a millionaire.
Let the market tell you what the market wants to tell you.
This podcast is not financial, trading, or investing advice of any kind. Before we start, I'd like to thank our sponsored partner for today's episode, City Traders Imperium. Now, CTI has one of the world's best funded accounts and learning platforms all in one. Get a CTI Forex funded account today and advance a step closer to achieving your personal freedom. To find out more, head over to citytradersimperium.com. That's citytradersimperium.com. What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the Trading Nut podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we've got a young trader from Melbourne, Australia. Name is Daniel Caluzzi on the show. Now, Daniel is a full-time trader who's been trading full-time for over a year. He is also heavily into the mindset stuff, came from a financial background, wanted to diversify into trading. He comes with a wealth of knowledge. You're going to get some massive tips here in the show that's just about to hit your earbuds here. And also, we walk through, after the video, a little TradingView replay challenge of our own. So this is a back test where I get Daniel to go through and we sort of do a simulated couple of trades in a TradingView thing. That's over there up on the Trading Nut YouTube channel, so you can go and check that out. Actually learn how he sees the market, how he reads price, how he manages a trade, where he sets a stop, and how he manages trades going against him. So there's a whole lot of stuff there that you can check out. Links in the description of this podcast if you're listening, or in the YouTube. There'll be, you'll probably be watching it on the YouTube anyway. Okay, so guys, that's over there. There's also other stuff going on around this TradingView replay challenge stuff that I'm doing. So I'm not only just getting traders on, of which I had one on last week. He came up with the top score. I think it was like 7.63 or 5 or something. Gained over 5 trades, beat Forex, who had 7.61. I think those two are going to battle it out if no one comes up and beats them in the future. I think they're going to battle it out in a few weeks' time. So stay tuned for that. We've also got the semi-final of Trader versus Trader happening this week as I record this, probably after you guys are listening to this. That is where I've got random traders from around the internet to come on, compete against each other and see if they can do 5 trades and beat the other trader. So we've had some fantastic guys come on already. A couple of funded traders have come on already, so multiple times they've been funded. We've had guys from Irish guys, we've had guys from the UK, we've got South Africa, the States, so all around the world. Guys, this is we got the semi-finals coming up this week. These guys are showing you how they trade, their methods, exactly what they're doing. So you've got to come and check this out, okay? It's live. You can lob in. There's involvement there with the audience as well. It's a bit of fun. And we've got some changes happening in the semi-finals and final to the rules. So you want to jump on there, check it out. If you missed the live, then there's always the replay as well, so you can check that out. All right, guys, what else have we got coming up? There's more traders hitting the airwaves on doing the TradingView replay challenge. We've also got a new strategy that I'm giving away to anyone that joins up to my Robot Builders Club this month of October. So, guys, you're going to get my round numbers strategy. It's a robot that I've just built. You're going to get that along with a discount. So if you're interested in automating some or all of your trading, then this is the place to go. You're going to learn exactly how I do it, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there as well that you're going to sink your teeth into. So if you just want to learn the strategy that I've put together, then head over there. There's links in the show description here or over there on Trading Nut, where you're going to find out how that strategy works around round numbers and see some of the results as well. So I've got a video up there, that's the only place to watch it, okay? So last but not least, I am thinking about doing a trading competition, an actual real trading competition. So guys, if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I should have some more information on that in the future. I'm hoping to get some amazing prizes for you guys to win. If you're keen, just let me know in the Telegram chat. Do an @Cam in the Telegram chat and say, hey man, I'm keen for this competition. Let me know when you're going to start it and I'll be there. All right, guys, do remember, we got the video after this interview, so listen to it. Let it soak in. There's some great tips, tricks, and advice in here. Folks, welcome Daniel. Let's get on with the show. Here we go. All right, folks, here we are on Trading Up. We've got Daniel Caluzzi here from Melbourne over there, struggling in 5+ months of in and out of lockdown. How's things going, Daniel?
Yeah, they're doing all right. Thanks, Cam. Thanks for having me on. This definitely helps fill some of the time between lockdown, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably the only profession that really is going to benefit from this is somebody who's either a trader or someone who's learning to trade, because they'll have all the time on their hands, all the time in the world to actually put towards this, as long as they're not getting sucked into watching massively long series on Netflix or something stupid like that. So, right, now to start off with, I'm going to find out all about how you got into trading, why you decided to become a Forex trader, and your story up to date, and we're going to dive into that in a little bit more detail.
Cool. Sounds good. So you want me to get started?
Yeah, go for it.
Nice. Currently I'm 23 years old. I've basically been trading the stock market since I was 15. And back then I was using my parents' accounts, and then once I turned 18, I had my own. I played a bit of tennis from the age of 7 for about 10 years at a pretty high level. And what kind of helped me fuel the passion for investments was, I started studying financial planning and accounting. And within the studying period, I worked within a couple of firms, helping give financial advice to younger couples and older retirees. We didn't exactly specialize in the investments area. We were more of a holistic practice. So we worked on cash flow, estate planning, insurance, and then also investments. And we also work with accountants and mortgage brokers to help with those needs too. So plenty of exposure to help a person's financial situation. However, it wasn't exactly fueling the passion for investments, because it just didn't allow, it was just because we were focusing on so many other things that investments weren't just such a small part. So what I ended up doing is I quit my job, right? And I looked for some investment analyst positions. And in the meantime, I remembered that I lost a little bit of money on Forex trying to trade news. And I figured, in the industry, you heard a little bit about Forex trading here and there. And I was like, okay, let's have a look at this, because when you're trading on the stock market, it's very hard to earn a full-time income, especially with the leverage that you get on most platforms that I use. But with Forex, it gives you the 500-to-1 leverage. So it's very easy to supplement your full-time income. And on the flip side, it actually helps fuel my investments passion. Being able to trade and keep up to date with the markets and, see what's driving what at the moment. And so basically, I came across Wicks Don't Lie, Rakeel, and I joined his mentorship, which helped me with the strategy and risk management side of things. And on top of that, it was also a very heavy mental game. And what was quite interesting was, at the time, I was a part of this mindset and performance program for business people. And Jess Cameron was the head of that division. I like to think of her as the Wendy Rhodes from Billions. So anyway, we had these weekly meetings where we discussed issues that I was having, and we got to the core of why I may be having those specific problems within Forex trading. Because by then I changed from working full-time at an office to now working full-time for myself, just purely Forex trading. And obviously that came with a lot of stresses and pressures and, obviously still having that investments background, I now am bringing that over to Forex. So that was the transition was a little bit difficult, but with her help, I was able to, transition a lot smoother. Anyway, she helped me train my mind to remove emotions and how to look at the market objectively. We called it two things, confirmation bias and curiosity. And basically confirmation bias was always asking yourself, how could you be wrong? Always looking at things from 2 points of view, both points of view. So the sells bias and the buys bias. So don't get stuck looking at a short trade, but also keeping in mind the longer term, the long opportunity too. So what that helped with a lot was when I was in a trade and I was analyzing, okay, should I still be in this? What I would ask myself is, would I still take that buy or sell at that very moment? If not, maybe it's time to exit the trade. Excuse me. And the second one, curiosity. So always question everything from a higher subjective level. For example, when looking at bad trades, the key is to not get angry at yourself. You always need to ask yourself, what did you do well and where could you have improved from a subjective level? So I remember, I used to get angry at myself for taking these bad trades, but behind every bad trade, there's actually a lesson. So instead of seeing a trade as a loss, I looked at it as it's either a win now or a win later. And like I said, every trade has a lesson. So it's actually a win in the end. So even if you lose, there's a lesson behind that gives you the lesson. Sorry, there's a lesson behind that from the trade. Anyway. As traders, it's our job to identify the lesson behind every trade. So it's all about changing your perspective. And that's what she really helped with. I was able to take trades objectively. I was able to analyze them afterwards subjectively, and not get angry at myself. And that's how I was able to grow. And, like I said before, I like to look back on it and think that, every trader needs a Wendy Rhodes in their corner. And that's what I want to be to new traders and, current traders.
Cool. And so I want to dive back into that story a little bit and pick out some nuggets there. So first of all, you started off with stocks, then you went on to Forex, jumped into a news trading strategy, and you didn't do very well, lost money out of that, found Wicks Don't Lie. How did you, what was the evolution from in between the news strategy where, things weren't going well and Wicks Don't Lie? Was your whole success based on the training that you had from Raja, or was it something else?
So the Forex news trading strategy was probably 2 years prior to starting with Wicks Don't Lie. So that was kind of something that, it's one of those things that everyone has their first experience with Forex. And that's what my strategy was. It didn't work out, obviously. And that's why I had that break, from Forex for, a couple of years. And then, once I came across Raja, his strategy is what I've basically been implementing ever since. Maybe a couple of tweaks here and there. And I would actually contribute majority of my success to his teachings. Correct. Okay.
And so how did that sort of progression through, learning the strategy, applying it, look to you? Walk us through that.
Yeah. So what are you saying in regards to where I took the strategy?
Well, when you sort of decided that, okay, all right, I'm ready to go into a demo account, or I'm going to back test it, or I'm going live. How did that, play out to the point where, you place your first live trade using it? What was it, a win? Was it a loss? How did it go from there? Were you straight away out of the gates, never look back, or was there a tipping point where things really fell into place?
So that's a good point. I started, so when I first saw Raja, it was probably a month when I then was like, okay, I want to take this all on. I'm all in. So that's when I quit my job and I started trading Forex full time, but I didn't have it all down pat yet. So I figured that, as long as I'm just purely focusing on Forex trading, I can figure something out. I can figure it out. And I think that, a lot of people are doing it half-heartedly, whereas I'm just someone that just wants to focus on it completely and work on it. So I think it took me about 6 months to get around the whole, the strategy, the managing risk, the goal setting, the psychology. But from the get-go, you're right. I was actually trading a real account from the get-go, because I think that there's so many things that you can learn trading real money that demo doesn't allow you to.
And were you
as
trading
you know,
were you trading big money or small money to get going?
Well, here's the problem. I wasn't actually sure how much money I should really be. I know that he says, 1 to 2% risk, but I had the issue of, some days, I'd start to up the ante a little bit, and that would actually, bring me back a couple of steps because I didn't have that proper plan in place. I was like, damn, I gotta supplement this income right now. I was in that mindset of, my goodness, I need this money tomorrow. And so basically that actually brought me back. And, is that what you're asking?
And so how did you get, how did you get past that? Was that purely from this lady that helped you with the psychology, or how did that work?
Yeah. So then I started to use a bit of the financial planning side of things. I was looking at, I'm not sure if you're aware of like dollar cost averaging and all that sort of stuff. So, so starting with a small balance and then slowly contributing to that balance, or, in regards to the stock market, slowly investing in the stock market over, contributing every month or every couple of months or so, but slowly building your risk. So instead of going bang, $500 risk per trade, you then had, 50, and then you slowly build up to 100, and then 150, 200. And yeah, that's what I worked with Jess to help build the confidence behind that.
That's a nice way to do it, actually, because I've heard people vaguely touch on this in the past, where it's like, let's add more money to your account every single month, or do it on a regular basis. But I've never really sort of seen the benefit of it. But I suppose the benefit is, as you said, it's a bit like dollar cost averaging, or having a regular savings or regular investing plan. And it also helps gradually increase that ability for you to take, your 2% risk to becoming something more substantial, and take away from the fact, like, your initial problem of, I'm needing this money now that you're going to make from trading to pay for bills and all that sort of stuff, because eventually that will happen and eventuate. So, okay, so you got to a point. Was there a tipping point there where you were like, I've got this now, I've sort of worked it out, and this is the magic answer? Something like that?
No, it was more of a gradual. I think that it probably started like the 3-4 month period. And then once I got to the 6 month period, in those 2 months, it was like a gradual change, and it's still improving today. I think that you can never stop, improving and, improving on yourself. Right. And there's always lessons that the market's going to teach you. We're always a student. And I think that as long as you have that mindset, you can't really go wrong.
And what do you see as the area that you need to improve on the most at the moment?
Well, now what I'm working on, is the scaling up. That's probably the hardest part with any sort of trader is, okay, going from having your plan of, okay, starting at risking $200 per trade, then moving to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1,000, 2,000, that sort of thing.
Okay. Cool.
That's probably what I see the hardest, because what that then comes with is you're risking more. So how do you overcome the psychology of more risk on the trade? Okay.
And do you want to talk us through your sort of the data around your strategy at the moment, or your trading, should I say? I mean, what's your winning percentage and your risk to reward ratio? How do they look?
Yeah. So I tend to do swing and scalping trades. Majority of them are scalping trades, so have about a 1-to-1 risk to reward. And the win rate that we've had on the stream is about 70 to 80% during the New York session. That's when I scalp. Okay. So it's been really good.
Cool. That's very good. So what about time frames? Talk about scalping. I mean, what time frames are you using to analyze and then enter?
So basically, it's all the way down from the daily time frame to I would say my confirmations come from about the 30-minute time frame. Sometimes we use the 15-minute, but basically starts from daily, getting your zones from the daily, working your way to the 4-hour, 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, and then executing on the 15 and 30-minute interchangeably, depending on the ranges and, what the setup exactly looks like. So it's all very, it's all very specific to what's going on at the moment.
And are you just focusing on one particular pair, or are you spreading it over a few?
Just GJ, and I look to swing gold every now and again.
Okay.
So gold's like purely swing, and GJ's scalping and swing.
So so you said New York session, you got a live stream going on there. What does your typical day look like then?
So we jump on the stream. So obviously, are you talking about my full day or just the New York session?
Oh, the full day will be good.
Full day? Yeah, cool.
You can
nice.
sort of skip through the, I had lunch and breakfast. I think everyone's going to be in agreement with that.
So obviously got my group that we do our daily analysis. We do our weekly catch-ups. They all, we all chat and see how you went for the week or the month, and, work on any problems that they may be having. That's probably more, around lunchtime. And then as we get close to the New York session, we jump on the Zoom and see what's happening at the moment, draw out our zones, work on a plan, buy, sell at this zone. Once we break here, we look for a buy. Once we break down here, we look for a sell. Just basic, and obviously the whole thing about working out and all that during the morning and, having a nice cup of coffee and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. Like, there's not much to do in lockdown at the moment. And yeah, like you said,
I suppose it has been a long time for you guys. So it's probably the routine's a bit out of whack. So what do you think made you different from other people out there? And I really like the fact that you mentioned the half-hearted comment, because I think that's a massive thing for other people. But what do you think made you different outside of that?
I think that having the experience of knowing what drives the markets from the investment side perspective, knowing how certain market events affect, the markets in general. But then I think that, all I can really say is that, I jumped, I was all in, I think that a lot of people, they start feeling some pushback from the market. And, they start losing a little bit. They have some bad weeks, some tough beats. But from that point, some would maybe look for a job in between to help, because it's a bit uncomfortable for them. But for me, I just stuck with it. I just knew that if I stuck with it, eventually, something would come of it.
Yeah. And I suppose, it's, so if you put different hats on, right? Because, you're 23, so you're quite young. You probably haven't got that many years of experience in the sort of corporate environment, let's call it. So probably easier to go, hey, all in. If this doesn't work, I can always go back and find a job, in 2 years' time. And I'm only going to be 25. Things aren't going to be that bad. What about putting the hat on of somebody who is working a day job? They're trying to get into trading. It's not really working for them. How would you approach it if you're in that position?
Yeah, I kind of wish I did that. I think that that would make the transition a lot easier in regards to, having your job, but then working on trading on the side. I think that if I ever were to go back to work, it'd basically be the best of both worlds, because, especially here in Australia, the New York session starts at around 7:30, pre-New York session. So around 7:30 p.m., just after dinner, you're home from work. And basically, if you're here in Australia, obviously it depends where you are in the world. And I know that, you have viewers all over the world. It's that trying to pick the session that suits you best, if it's early in the morning before work, or, later after work once you come home. And I think that the compounding of your, putting money aside every single month, every single week from your job and adding that towards your trading account can be really beneficial in the long term. And like I said, spend 3-4 hours on the charts at your preferred session, and, just get used to, if you're new, just get used to putting money on the line, even if it's $5, even if it's $10, just something, because I don't see the benefit in demo. I think that the hardest part to get through is not so much the strategy part, it's the emotional part of putting money on the line and risking. Because as humans, I believe we're very conservative in regards to money. We like to hold things tight to our chest unless exposed to, you know, being comfortable letting go and risking putting that money on the line.
Okay, now diving into the actual technicals here, what about, if you had to recommend 3 things somebody focus on a price chart, what would those 3 be?
Yeah, so I would probably work on drawing support and resistance levels working from the higher time frames and then molding them into the lower time frame zones. So lower time frame levels, if that makes sense. Also, pick your battles, right? For me, I'm a big fan of, looking left and making sure that, where you're trading into is clean traffic, as I like to call it. So when you've got, 30-minute or 1-hour candles creating the higher highs and higher lows and just nice trending movement, I don't suggest that anyone looks left and tries to trade a choppy market, if that makes sense. And number 3, like I do, stick to one, pick one pair and stick to it. Get to know everything there is about that specific pair, because if you try and juggle multiple pairs and they all act differently, you're going to get thrown off and you're not going to know, for example, I like to say that, if you're trading multiple pairs and the market's just not moving rationally, if you're only trading one pair, you can identify that very quickly and you can maybe only make 1 loss that day or 2 losses. However, if you trade multiple pairs, those losses get multiplied. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, what about a trader's mindset? I mean, you've done, obviously quite hot on that topic.
Yeah.
Have you got any things that you could sort of share with the guys that are going to help them, like tips, techniques, hacks, you want to call it that's going to help them sort of change their mind to be more ready to face what's going to hit them when they start placing trades and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I like to touch on my experience from tennis, actually, if that's okay.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I think that the biggest reason people fail is because of their mindset. And that's why I see a lot of trading bots like yourselves, like yours. I believe you've got your own.
Yep.
It's an easy way to just remove the emotion from trading, because robots are basically humans without the emotion, and they execute on their rules, and which is I believe the way that traders should be. You should honestly trade like a robot. So back to my experience with tennis, which I touched on, it was a massive, massive mental game. Everyone I came up against had very similar skill levels, but the reason someone won or lost was the mindset they brought into the match. So for example, if someone's having an off day, the win would be very easy for the other player, because what I like to call it, the mental wall battle. And as a tennis player, you want to make yours rock solid to give yourself the best opportunity to win the match. So what I strived for was to break down the opponent's wall whilst making sure mine stayed strong. But we won't mention what I did to achieve that.
Go on.
You sure?
Yeah, go on. What did
so basically, it was the little things, right? It was like just constant jabbing. It was, if they called the ball out, you'd be on their back. You're like, are you sure? Because there weren't many umpires in that, and it was like, being on their back, when you won the point, you do the Leighton Hewitt, you go the, come on, all that sort of stuff, it chips away at the bricks. That's what I like to call it. So, yeah. And as you chip away at the bricks, the points become easier and easier to win. So my style was not so much to smash the guy off the court, but was to outlast the opponent through like persistence and determination. So, and then from my point of view, I'd make sure that they never won an easy point, and I would put all my effort into every shot until they broke. And from there it was easy. But what you need to understand is that tennis players don't just break down after 1 point, right? It's done over multiple games and sets. Same thing with trading. One big win doesn't mean you've figured it out, that you're now successful. So yeah, back to that, after every match, my coach would be there and we'd go over what had just happened and what we could do better. So, shots that need to improve and what worked well. So when you get to training, you focus on the things you didn't do well in the match. So basically some of the best learning that I've done through tennis and through trading is focusing on what went well and what could be improved on through the training. But that couldn't have been done without the match play. Same with trading. Trading demo doesn't exactly give you that. So that's why trading live, you'll learn so much more about your trading than what you would with demo. And you need to learn, you need to be behind the charts, but you can't spend too much time behind the charts. The charts are kind of just you there for the session. The learning is done off the charts when you're reassessing your performance, right? And a couple of similarities between trading and tennis is that, the same mental wall you have you need to have the same mental wall when jumping on the charts. If yours isn't strong, the market will break you down brick by brick. However, as long as you keep taking jabs at the market and breaking down its walls and ensuring your mental game stays strong, you can get to the point where trading is easy and fun because you've broken down all those walls from the market.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Now, if there was one thing you'd recommend any trader spend the next month mastering, what would it be?
I definitely think that, the mentality behind the chart. So I think that, a lot of traders that listen to this, they've probably got maybe $100, $200, $500 account, maybe a couple of thousand, right? What I believe you should do as a trader is pretend like you're trading $1 million account, right? If that $100 account, picture as $1 million account, and you trade it the exact same way as what you would do $1 million. And I think that, a lot of people don't understand that the habits that they form early on with trading the $100 account could potentially hurt them later on. Because with $100, they're like, I'm going to make $2 today, because I'm going to risk 2%. And they don't see it as a big deal. But once they get to that $1,000, $10,000, they bring that same mindset and those same habits to that $10,000. And that could end up, being quite hurtful. That could, bring you back quite a fair bit. So that was something that I would work on mastering for any new traders.
Yeah, I love it. That's brilliant. That's a great little tip there. So imagine you're trading a hedge fund style account and see how it changes things for you. So we're going to jump into a quick fire round here. So how long did it take you to go from newbie to consistently profitable?
About 6 months.
What's your favorite entry setup?
So for me, I just love clean candles to the left. So basically, if there's clean traffic to the left, I'll figure out some sort of way, whether it's waiting for a support to form or resistance to form, and then taking that trade. So it's all about the clean candles to the left.
What about strategies for exiting and managing trades?
Yeah, so for my scalps, I usually look to wait for the next 15-minute candle to close, and I usually take profits at around 8 to 10 pips. And obviously, depending on the traffic to the left, I'll either let it run a little bit further and, let the trail my stop loss below or above the 15-minute candles as they close, or just put stops to break even, depending on how that goes. It all depends on the structure.
Do you have a recommended trading book or resource you can share with us?
Yeah, Principles by Ray Dalio. It touches on how I like to look at trading. So when waiting for setups, it's usually just another one of those, which is what he likes to say. So if you have something written down, you've got a plan for when that certain setup comes. It's just, honestly, the market is just another one of those. Every single trade setup, every single pattern, it just repeats itself over and over again. So definitely a very good book to look into.
What's your preferred broker and trading platform?
So I like IC Markets and Black Bull Markets, and I use MT5 for both.
Do you want to walk us through your worst ever trade?
Yeah, so my worst ever trade was a news trade. Back in the day, I was trading Euro GBP. And it's quite funny, when you sent me the questions, I actually had a look back on to see exactly how much I lost. And I believe it was like Euro interest rates or GDP. Anyway, I lost 40% of my account by misclicking. So, so what happened, right, is I took the trade. So what my plan was, I took the trade before the news. And what I was like is obviously when the news comes, it's very quick. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to change the one-click trading. So I wanted to make sure I had the one-click trade. So normally what I do is I click into the trade, I then close it from there, right?
Yeah.
However, I changed it to one-click trading this time. So as the market was making these big moves, it retraced one way, right? It retraced the wrong way. And I went to go to click it to open up the trade to then eventually close it, but then I closed it.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, oh, crap. So I literally lost 40% in that one trade because there was no risk management. There was nothing. There was just, it was quite insane. But yeah, that definitely taught me a very good lesson.
I thought you were going to say it was the old, I clicked buy instead of sell. And then I realized, oh no, I've gone the wrong way. No, I've done that before. Now, what about if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice, what would it be?
Journal everything. I've actually just recently become a massive fan of Trello, which allows you to organize trades very, very easily. And basically what it does, it allows you to take a quick snapshot of what was going on all time frames, and also to document how you were feeling during the trade. What your thought process was behind that entry and behind that exit. So yeah, definitely massive fan of journaling. And I think that everyone needs to get involved. Yeah, for sure.
Trello, I did start doing it on Trello as well, and found it really useful, a really easy way to do it. I think, who was it, Paul Widener, an old guest, he had a little video on how to set it up so you can do it. But it's actually not that hard once you get started.
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap up, what's the best way for the listeners to get hold of you?
Well, look, come join us on the New York live stream. Sorry, the YouTube channel is Wealth Mindset. I've also got an Instagram, which is Wealth 4X, and also go check out my website, www.wealthmindset.com.au.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to head over and shoot a little video clip, and you're going to show us what you do on a price chart. But I want to say a big thank you to Daniel for sharing with us today. Everything we've discussed here, along with all the links, are in the show notes. To find them, simply search for Daniel in the search box on tradingnut.com. Until next time, wish all my listeners trading happiness and success. All right, guys, there we go. Interview with Daniel done and dusted. Now, quickly, while you're thinking of it, head over to the description, find the link, and you're going to get to watch his video that we shot, the Trading View Challenge that he took. See how many he made or didn't make as we shot this video of him doing a Trading View Challenge. We will probably get him on to do the actual Trading View Challenge in the future as well. So, guys, other things that are coming up, we've got the semi-finals and the finals of Trader versus Trader all live over there on YouTube. We've also got more Build That Bot coming up. We've got the Robot Builders Club October offer that you can take up now. Go and check it out over there. Learn the strategy that I've sharing there and see some of the results as well. Also, if you want to be involved in a trading competition run by Trading Nut with some amazing prizes, let me know in the Trading Nut chat. All right, guys, until next time, have a great trading week, and I'll see you in the next show.